Okay, everyone. Well, we have half an hour, so I'd like you each to just introduce yourself, give a brief bio of what exactly it is that you do in this industry. So let's start to my left.
Okay, I'm Bertrand Lévy, so very French first name. And I'm running the global partnership for the Sandbox. So all the B2B partners that we have, like Gucci, Warner, Adidas, Ubisoft, etc., etc. And my background before, I spent like 20 years in the music industry at Universal Music, ending running the global partnerships for Universal Music.
Amazing, thank you so much, Michael.
All right. I'm Michael Yonida. I am VP of Engineering at DAP Radar right now, but my background is in engineering. I'm 11 years in engineering leadership. What am I doing for the industry? Well, I held a keynote today talking about Web3 games. I hope you all got hyped. I also have a YouTube channel where I talk about explain smart contracts, NFTs in a simple way for everyone who is not tech. And I also develop trading strategies, trading bots for my own personal interest. So yeah, that's me.
And Adrian?
I'd like to get some access to some trading bots. My name is Adrian Bashik. I'm the CCO and founding partner at Ethernity and Ethernal Labs. Previously, I helped start Crypto Banter, and I was at CNBC Crypto Trader.
Amazing, Matthias?
I'm Matthias Mende. I'm the co-founder of the Dubai Blockchain Center. Our job was to educate government sectors about blockchain and crypto and how everything works. This started in 2018, and now I think the job is done. And also I'm the founder of Bonus. We built a real-world gamification platform, which is a social smart wallet with like dynamic NFTs and things which people can use in the real world and which have a purpose every day.
Hi, I'm Boris Pevsner. I'm the CEO and co-founder of LiveArt. LiveArt is the Web3 platform for the art market. And it's been growing very, very fast. You may have seen some of that around. We bring some of the world's top artists to Web3, the top 200 artists in the world. And before that, I started 4 other companies that were quite successful in various industries, in gaming, in cloud computing, and in freight transportation. So quite a diverse set of interests, but all of them have to do with two-sided marketplaces of one way or another. It's a really exciting time to be building in this space, so looking forward to the panel.
Wow. Okay, we do have some experts on this stage. And I'm going to start by talking about the metaverse, which strangely we haven't really spoken that much about in the last 2 days. I think probably this time last year, metaverse was one of those keywords everyone was talking about, whereas it seems at the moment AI has kind of just blown that out of the water. But Matthias, let's start by talking about the metaverse. And how is the metaverse redefining economic models? And what roles does Dubai see itself in transforming this process?
Well, Dubai always picks up the newest trends and is very bullish on the future. That's the great mindset about the government here. So one of the big use cases for the metaverse, I guess it's tourism. They were trying to build a digital twin of Dubai also. And they also came out with a metaverse strategy. And there's also a target to get like 40,000 employees in the metaverse, also to make digital twins of certain government departments. So the people, instead of flying to Dubai, they could technically meet them in the metaverse and get their information there. Also for learning purposes, like simulations of certain activities like building complicated structures or engineering. Like they really embrace this stuff also to train employees, to give them to prepare them to do better work at the end. So all this stuff is coming and it's a part of the strategy and it's very embraced here.
Perfect. And taking the role of someone that's maybe being slightly negative to the idea of the metaverse, the idea of tourism and the metaverse, like how is that going to work and why is it a positive? Why is the metaverse really adding to these industries? Matthias, or anyone can feel free to say it. It's something that came to my mind.
Well, I would say that things are a little bit early, and we all know that Metaverse needs a lot of rendering and graphic power, and there's a huge cost behind. But also the devices are not very ready yet. Okay, we have the Apple Vision coming out now. I think this will be one of the good devices. And the new Meta headset, it's also pretty good. But I think we still need 1, 2, 3 years more till it's more built into glasses like that, or perhaps even in the lenses or the retina.
Anyone else have anything to say about that?
Yes, just a little. Our dream at the Sandbox, because we don't need, we're not into VR, on PC and Mac. And now our dream is to be able to replicate iconic places, iconic building, here in Dubai, and having like things happening virtually, whether maybe the same time in the real world. Like talking about, I'm a music guy, so maybe festival, happening real life and same time virtually, and you can get asset virtually that you can use in the real world and vice versa. So I think Dubai has already had a lot of things that attract people because of the tourism. There's a lot of things that can be done in the metaverse, especially with this city.
Yes, I actually remember I hosted an event about a digital twin of the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup. It was maybe slightly off actually happening. It was a bit too early to be able to do it, but it was extremely interesting, the idea of such a huge global event you could actually put into the metaverse. It helped have player interactions with people. It was incredible to hear about, and I think, as Matthias says, we might be a couple of years off, but the potential truly is there.
Just for us, it's just happening like pretty soon. I mean, the first live will be the Snoop Dogg one to the Sandbox. It's going to happen early 2024, and we're ready for it.
Wow, that is bullish, and I love hearing it. Great, 2024. This is exciting. Okay, so we're going to move on to my next question, and then again, you guys will all be open to discussion. But we're going to move back to NFT. So Boris, I'm going to ask you, what are the main drivers of the values of NFTs today, and how have they changed in the last year?
Well, me personally, look at the value of NFTs through the prism of the art world. So one of my previous companies I sold to Christie's, that's the biggest player in the art world. We have my co-founder used to run Sotheby's, which is a huge auction house, $8 billion in revenue. So we have a very commercial view of the art market. As it says, money beyond pixels, so very appropriate for the panel. And when we think about value of art in general, and the value of digital art as exemplified in the NFTs, I think about it through that prism. So if you think about the value of actual, let's just say, physical art, to distinguish it from digital art, well, it comes from 3 different places, right? It comes from, number one, the brand power of the artist. So is the artist well recognized? Iconic images, recognized around the world. Everybody knows who they are. Even if you look at an image and you don't know who it's by, but you sort of recognize it. Iconic. The second is social validation. Validation, not in the sense that we use it in most of this conference, validator nodes. No, it's social validation. So for art, it is who else owns the piece, museums that hold it, auction houses that trade it. So all of that creates what's called provenance in the art world. So that's the second source of value. And the third source of value is financial backing. So is there a track history for that artist, across all of the different things that the artist has done, doesn't have to be digital, that supports that the value of the artwork, right? So you can see the track record. Most of the artists that we work, they have, if you will, market caps in $100 million. So they're really big artists. They have done a lot of things. They have an extensive track record, which we track, very, very precisely. So it's kind of like you track crypto or in the traditional finance, stocks and bonds. You can track artists the same way. So we do that. And so what that means is that when there is an NFT, right, that is published, that we publish, for instance, you can find out if that NFT is backed by the artist's traditional art market record. And if it is, in fact, backed by it, and you can see that the pricing is not sort of pulled out of thin air like it is for many NFTs, but it is, in fact, like it ties to the artist's existing career and liquidity and all of the things that sell at auctions every day somewhere in the world, then that becomes a validator of value as well. So that would be my sort of answer to the first part of the question: where does the value come from? It really, for digital art, it comes from exactly the same place where it comes from traditional art, right? From number one, the artist's brand name and track record. Number two, from the social validators, in this case, museums, holders, etc. And number three, from the financial track record. Now, I think the second part of the question was, how has it changed in the last year? Right. I think that in the last year, I would say that, as some of the more bubbly things in the NFT space have come and passed, people are coming back to the fundamentals. There is a flight to quality. People are really paying attention to, who is the most famous artists? What have they done before? What is their track record? What is their financial record going back? Like, we track our artists 30 years back, right? So it's mostly traditional artists that we're bringing to the Web3 for the first time. So it's really this flight to quality, flight to the fundamentals, and that's really, I would say it's always been there at some level, but in the last year, that has really solidified, and people are looking for those kinds of validations.
Incredible. Anyone on the stage have anything to say?
I mean, I would say with NFTs, we're talking about the epitome of a boom and bust cycle. So we had, a number of unknown artists and teams and creators just, spit projects out of thin air, and you've got a 95% loss of market cap of NFTs. So let's be real and say that, that part of the sector is in rebuild mode, and only, as you say, the quality projects are around. We have a number of projects that are like ours that literally went out of business. So on the NFT front, you've got obviously punks and apes and doodles, squiggles, azukis as a top 5, let's say, and then you've got a few platforms like Sandbox, like us at Eternity, Candy, Autograph, that are still doing licensing and collectibles. So you saw a lot of projects move from, NFTs to digital collectibles, but there is a world of fandom and collectability in the NFT side of things that people are still going to be engaging in for the long term. We love to call this now a builder's market. This is not a bear market. We're 6 months out of the halving, which is huge, and then those next 18 months after the halving is, a time to really harness the hype that'll come in with new entrants. But now you're going to have utility. So of course, the big buzzword is utility with NFTs and also real world assets. So how do you tokenize some real world assets, and how do you use digital collectibles and NFTs? Us at Eternity, we have a whole gaming division, so we're launching our own IP that isn't just the NFT for something to collect, but it's something to then use across a spectrum of assets, be it real world assets and tokenizing physical stuff, so you see phygital, and then in gaming, and then in IPs and in content. So there's a big future ahead, but it's those projects that are able to be quality, that have stuck around through this market and can ride the wave through this next cycle.
Go on, Michael.
I want to add something to that. Maybe now, because the prices has fallen so much for NFTs, and it's a builder's market, maybe now is the opportunity to buy your favorite NFT for cheap. Check how much a Bored Ape costs. I think the floor price was somewhere at $40,000 or something like that, which is cheap compared to what it was before. Just want to give you that idea of the projects that you really believe in. They might be very cheap, and you might want to check them out.
Yes, it definitely is the market for opportunities, and there are plenty out there. And Adrian, you did just touch upon the utilities of NFTs, but how do you assess the evolution of NFTs in the metaverse?
I think Sandbox is a perfect example. So you've got activations of concerts. Ticketing is obviously a very big thing to be able to use, and you've got access passes, so NFTs that aren't just a piece of art, like you say, but also grant access to a lot of different things. I think there's going to be a blend between metaverse and gaming. There's a huge intersection there, and what you can use NFTs with for skins, for battle elements, for jerseys, for all sorts of stuff. And I think Sandbox can definitely speak to much more activations with what they're doing.
Yes, no, 100%. Again, talk about Snoop Dogg, but yes, we've done 3 activation, with Snoop, with NFTs. The first one, we sold 1,000 tickets at $1,000 each for that upcoming show. So it's $1 million of tickets we sold in 20 minutes. We recreated his virtual mansion, created a VIP area, and sold 5,000 VIP pass at $500. So it's $2.5 million in 30 minutes. And then we have created 10,000 Snoop's avatars because he loved the fashion, with different outfits, different hairstyles, and sold them in 24 hours for $3 million. So in a day and 50 minutes, we make $6.5 million. So back to your first question also, is there money here? And so there was, people would say, okay, but that was not now, there was some time. But what we've done also with Ubisoft, we created 4,000 different avatars with the rabbits, and it was like a month or a half ago, and we sold them in 40 minutes. So we have now 5 million registered users at the Sandbox, and yes, of course, it was crazy a year ago, it was even insane, the Metaverse. Now we're back to normal. And also the big shift from the US to the Asian market that we see right now is when we go to Asia right now, we feel like we're in the US a year ago. So yes, and we're using a lot of NFTs for token-gated experience, for utility. So utility can be into our world, can be for your avatar, you're buying an Adidas shoes, but the utility, you need to jump with your avatar on top of a ladder. If you don't have the shoes, you won't be able to do it. If you do, then you will be able to do it and get that NFT you were looking for. There's those kind of things that we use.
Amazing. And Michael, in your opinion, what are the most pressing technical challenges and opportunities in the metaverse and NFT industry?
All right. So I think technically it is, we figured it out, all right? But the usability might be a topic to discuss. So, technically we're there, we can do a lot of things. We just need projects to build and to integrate and so on, all right? And the big game publishers, which I presented today as well, Ubisoft, I actually mentioned exactly that game today as well on stage. And I wanted to say a quick tangent. Which other games are you working with? You can say later. It's a bit of alpha. Just tell me, don't tell anyone else, okay? But other than that, I think wallets are the most important topic, okay? Because you own your own assets, right? That's the whole idea of having NFTs, and you have to keep them safe, right? You have to make sure you have access to them, you can transfer in a safe way, and so on. And if you lose your wallet or your access, then there has to be some social recovery and all this good stuff, right? And in order to make this in a decentralized way, there are options. Yeah. For example, I know a wallet that I really care about. It's called Zengo wallet. They have nice features for keeping it seedless. There are others. Okay. I think that's the biggest one, honestly. But I'm not so. As a tech guy, I think we already have everything we should be having. We just need to build amazing projects and not like pump and dump schemes with tokenomics that don't make sense, right? So we passed that. That's great. Now let's go to the next stage, actually building quality projects with the technology we have. And I'm quite bullish. I don't see something big missing. Just let's go.
No, just sorry. I think right now is what we have is great good. What's going to come with AI is going to be crazy. If right now we have a very intuitive tool where everyone can come and create everything, every assets that will become NFT with no code, knowledge. Now, when you'll be able to write down, I want a house that looks like this, boom, and it's going to be created, that's going to be another story too.
No, I think, thank you for mentioning no code. I have a YouTube channel about no code, check it out. But I agree, it's just not, the AI is not really a blockchain technology, it's just we can use AI to make use of NFTs and tokens, because NFTs are just representing real life non-fungible assets, and tokens represent fungible assets. But it's really the same thing. It's just digitalized, which is amazing. And AI and other things help us to build use cases faster, 100%. But we need to build use cases that make sense. I mean, even AI can create unnecessary stuff. So I really like Bonus and these kind of projects that really make proper use in real life of NFTs. And I think those use cases are quite big and important.
I'd say technically also there's a huge barrier, you mentioned wallets, is obviously mobile adoption. So last week we premiered a big custom IP at Comic-Con, 300,000 attendees. These are non-crypto users. These are not like us. These are normies, right? And 83% of the people there were seeing art content. We launched a whole comic series called Arcbound with Tom Hardy. Check it out. It's pretty phenomenal. They were all seeing 83% of people signed up as users and experimenters on mobile. So how do you transfer crypto users and token users via mobile? Luckily, we're building an app that has kind of on-ramp and off-ramp capabilities, and you can have your own sort of wallet tied to your Apple Wallet that overcomes that need for a crypto wallet. But those who can solve those and navigate between mobile and non-crypto users is a key to the industry overall, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a big boundary. Matthias?
Yeah, I like to add something to Michael. Thanks for the mention. So the problem really needs to be solved with perfect UX, like with a total easy user experience, and this is what we've been focusing since almost 2 years. And now our application, how Adrian, you said it's simple and stuff, like we use something called account abstraction. So users, they don't even pay gas fees. They can sign up with the wallet with a social login, and yeah, the wallet, it's the fundamental part. It's the most important. But also the wallet alone can't just be a wallet. It has to be also a digital identity itself, so to validate and verify the users if they are even human. Because what we've seen with some social NFT projects like Lens Protocol, for example, where you just have a normal EOA wallets, so we can create 10,000 wallets in like a minute. That's very easy. And then if they apply for some NFT which validate their humanity, then you'll suddenly have 10,000 bots. It's like you let 10,000 people enter a conference and they actually not even exist, you know? So I feel it needs to be a combination of technologies. And since it's Web3, I mean, we've been focusing on use cases, but I figured out it's more important to build the basic layer, the fundament, and then partner with strong companies which have those type of use cases already built, like for example Sandbox, that they really get the real true users, which also eventually are validated with WorldCoin or with their national ID. So all those infrastructure is now pretty much built, and we're hoping to roll it out very, very soon and just partner with everyone. Because Web3, it's all like collective intelligence connected together, and that's the beauty about this industry.
Collaboration is definitely key. We are a new industry and we have to help each other to make, as I say, a more rapid and incredible future. AI is definitely very useful in helping to develop things at a faster pace, but as Matthias, as you say as well, there are even limitations to that and we have to be careful. Yeah, make sure people are human rather than bots is a very interesting topic. And Bertrand, I have a question for you. So how can the metaverse and NFT technologies be harnessed to help address real-world challenges? So we've spoken about real-world use cases, but what about challenges out there? So environmental, etc.
Of course, we're very cautious about that, and that's why we were onto Ethereum and took the Matic Polygon layer to reduce the carbon burn by 99%. On top of that, we have a fund that helps, that's called the Game Maker Fund, that helps everything come to good to the world, like charity or So we try to do good things through this fund also.
Perfect. And now I have my final question, which is going to be asked to all of you, so you're all going to have a chance to pipe in. So considering the rapid evolution of the metaverse and NFTs, what collaborative efforts between industry players and regulators are necessary to ensure sustainable growth and consumer protection? Yep, you can each go at different times.
The biggest one, I believe, is in the US, honestly, because you have game companies like Ubisoft and Sega and all these, right? And they are experimenting with their smaller titles to not jeopardize the bigger ones in case they are getting into legal trouble supporting NFTs and tokens, because they might be financial assets, right? So game companies, or because I care about Web3 gaming, right? That's why I always go back there. But game companies, they don't want to get in trouble becoming a bank or something, you know, or like an exchange or whatever, right? Suddenly they need a license for that stuff. They don't even have the expertise. So I think the biggest one, the biggest unlock would be if in the US there would be a regulation to make it super clear how NFTs are treated and tokens. And then I believe then there will be a Cambrian explosion.
Matthias, let's go.
I think in UAE we have the VARA, the Virtual Asset Regulation Authority, and since I'm building here and based here and very close, I've been writing a lot of emails with them, because in regulations there's not just decentralized finance or financial apps. There are games, social-fi projects. The issue is if they don't have this base layer fundament of the wallet, because if they have a custodial wallet, they technically, as Michael said, they're becoming like a bank. And that's where things will get complicated and stopped. And I feel people who do games or social file, they should not even like have all this headache to deal with, because at the end it really needs the fundamental base structure. But on the good side, like with all those emails on the Future Blockchain Summit, which was last week, the VARA regulator, they had a closed workshop and they invited founders. And they also, like, honestly, guys, this is because of my drama, okay? But I really love this industry. But Sebastian, the founder of Sandbox, he was also there in this closed workshop. And we had an open dialogue with the regulator. We gave them our points, why certain things are the way they are, how users seeing it, how they can improve. They were noting it, and I'm very, very confident that very soon a new regulation for GameFi and SocialFi will be released, specifically here in Dubai, and I think this will just open a lot of doors for a lot of builders, which will make the place even, again, more attractive, because at the end of the day, Metaverse and all those digital use cases, they are actually interplanetary. They are not just national, but still companies need to be legal and regulated if they want to scale up high.
Adrian, did you have something to say? No, let's go Boris. Let's give Boris a chance to speak at the end.
Yeah, I'd like to make sort of a meta point on this. I think that, put simply, the lack of clear regulation is the main thing that's preventing this sector, the NFT sector, from exploding. And here's why. You know, there's a lot of talk here. I think that every time, you know, somebody mentioned NFT, it was always an ape, you know, a punk, or an Azuki, or one of those. The NFT universe, the future NFT universe, is way larger than that. Right? Those so-called blue chip NFTs that we'll talk about, the apes and so on, you know, maybe there are half a dozen of them, maybe a dozen. But there are exactly 200 of the top 200 artists in the world who have market caps of over $100 million each. And they're waiting to enter the space, right? They're waiting to extend the existing practice into digital art. They're waiting to enter the NFT space. And what's stopping them? What's stopping them is that, you know, it became a little bit of a dirty word. They're a bit afraid, you know, of damaging their reputation. Now, an emerging artist, they just go for it, right? But an established artist that has a market to protect, a $100 million market to protect, they have to be careful. And so before they make the leap, they have to make sure that it's, you know, a clean pool that they're diving into. And that means that the regulation has to be here. And it's not here right now. And that's really the main thing that is preventing the established artist, which is the main IP in this space, of entering in, of making this jump.
Amazing. Thank you, Boris. Adrian, do you have a closing statement?
I'm just bullish on what Matthias said and on Dubai. Also bullish on Singapore. So there is bullishness here.
Amazing. Well, look at that. Perfectly on time. I can't tell myself off because we've done it perfectly, guys. Thank you so much to our panel. A huge round of applause for our panel. Wow, it's busy in here. Everyone give a big round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us.